No big announcement. No red carpet confession. No dramatic press release. Just a sudden silence, and then whispers. And when whispers start in this town, they usually mean one thing. A breakup, a secret, or a brand new connection nobody saw coming. And this time, it might be all three. Because one of the most talked about actresses of her generation is suddenly single. Completely single. After years in a long, steady, almost too stable relationship that everyone assumed would end in a wedding, a house, the whole picture-perfect fairy tale. For years, people thought she had it all figured out. Love locked down. Career exploding. Private life protected. The kind of balance most celebrities can only dream about. But behind the scenes, something changed. The engagement that seemed so solid, gone. The future that looked mapped out, wiped clean. After nearly a decade with the same man, after planning a life together, after building something that looked permanent from the outside, she walked away. No drama on social media. No cryptic posts. Just over. Sources close to her say the decision wasn't emotional chaos or betrayal. It was colder than that. Calculated. Focused. Strategic. She didn't want distractions. She didn't want to slow down. She didn't want to be anyone's plus one. She wanted power. She wanted control. She wanted her career to come first, second, and third. And honestly, that kind of move changes everything. Because when someone like her suddenly becomes single, Hollywood notices. Big time. Phones start ringing. Publicists start whispering. Mutual friends suddenly check in. And certain very famous men start paying attention in ways they weren't allowed to before. Now here's where the story takes a turn nobody expected. Because while everyone was still processing the breakup, one particular name kept popping up behind the scenes. Not a random actor. Not some influencer. Not a rookie. We're talking about a man who has been at the center of Hollywood for decades. An Oscar winner. A headline magnet. A walking, talking tabloid storm. Someone whose love life has always been just as famous as his movies. And apparently, he's been watching her for a while. Quietly. From a distance. Longer than anyone realized. At first, people thought it was just coincidence. Same parties. Same events. Same circles. Hollywood is small like that. Everybody bumps into everybody. But then insiders started connecting dots. Casual questions. Subtle curiosity. Little do you know her. Comments to friends. The kind of behavior that doesn't scream obsession, but definitely doesn't scream indifference either. And that's when people close to him started talking. Saying this wasn't new. Saying this interest didn't start last week. Saying this crush? Yeah, it's been there for a while. And once you hear what they're saying, you're going to look at this whole situation very differently. But hold that thought, because we're just getting started. Because here's the part that makes everyone lean in a little closer. This isn't just some surface level she's pretty situation. According to people in his circle, it goes deeper than that. Sure, he finds her attractive. Anyone with eyes does. That's not exactly breaking news. But what really caught his attention wasn't a red carpet look or some viral photo shoot. It was how she moves in the industry. The way she handles business. The fact that while other young stars are out every night chasing parties and headlines, she's behind the scenes building something bigger. Producing. Negotiating. Making calls. Taking meetings. Turning herself into a brand, not just a face. And for someone who has been in Hollywood long enough to see dozens of careers rise and crash, that kind of ambition hits different. Apparently he respects it. A lot. People say he talks about her work ethic. Says she's smart. Focused. Not messy. Not chaotic. Not addicted to the spotlight. And if you know anything about his history, that makes a lot of sense. Because drama? He's had plenty. Public relationships. Very public breakups. Paparazzi everywhere. Every move dissected. Every mistake magnified. So now insiders say, he's craving something quieter. Something calmer. Someone who isn't out until dawn every night. Someone who'd rather stay home than chase the club scene. And guess what? That's exactly how she lives. She said it herself. She doesn't drink. Doesn't party. Calls herself a water person. Just water. No chaos. No wild nights. For a man who has openly talked about his struggles with alcohol in the past, That detail? That's huge. Some say it's one of the biggest reasons he feels drawn to her. Stability, peace, a fresh start energy. But here's where things get even more interesting, because he's not just admiring from afar. Sources claim he's actually been asking around, quietly, through mutual friends, testing the waters, trying to figure out if there's a way to meet her naturally. No awkward setups, no obvious plays, just a smooth introduction, casual, effortless, like it just happened. Which is kind of wild when you remember we're talking about a full-blown Hollywood legend acting like a nervous guy trying to talk to his crush at a party. And yet, there's one elephant in the room nobody can ignore: the age gap. And when you hear how big it is, you expect it to be a deal breaker. Decades between them, entire generations, different eras of fame, different life experiences. On paper, it sounds insane. The internet would absolutely lose its mind. But according to insiders, he doesn't care. Not even a little. They say he genuinely doesn't see it as an issue. That what matters to him is maturity, mindset, lifestyle. And apparently, she checks every box. Still, there's another twist coming that complicates everything. And trust me, this is where the story gets messy. Because just when you think this is heading towards some unexpected Hollywood love story, another name enters the chat. Another actor. Another co-star. Someone she's been seen laughing with, working with, spending time around. And suddenly fans start speculating. Are they just friends? Just chemistry for the cameras? Or something more? Nothing confirmed. No official statements. Just photos, rumors, and that classic Hollywood maybe. And that maybe is exactly what makes this whole situation feel like a ticking clock. Because while the world speculates about one potential connection, someone else might be preparing to make a move behind the scenes. And according to people close to him, he's done waiting. They say he feels like he has nothing to lose. He's single. He's curious. He's interested. And when he wants something, he usually goes for it. So imagine this. She's freshly single, focused on her empire, not chasing love, not looking for headlines, just working. And out of nowhere, one of the most recognizable men in Hollywood steps into the picture. Not loudly, not dramatically, just smooth, confident, intentional, the kind of entrance that changes the energy in a room. Would she even consider it? Would she laugh it off? Would she be surprised he even noticed her? Or could this become the most unexpected pairing of the year? That's the question nobody can answer yet. But here's what we do know. Things are moving quietly. Conversations are happening. And in Hollywood, the quiet moves are always the most dangerous ones. So if you made it this far, I need you to sound off in the comments right now. Do you think this could actually happen? Or is it just another rumor that'll fade away? Would you ship them together? Or does the age gap make it a hard no for you? Type your opinion, drop your theories, and don't just scroll away. Because the best gossip always lives in the comment section. And before you go, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Because if this story explodes the way insiders think it might, you're going to want every single detail the second it drops. Trust me, this one isn't over. Not even close.